Today we have a really special treat because we're talking with Jacqueline Charles, our Caribbean correspondent here at the Miami Herald. Jackie, you've just returned from Haiti, in which you wrote an incredible story that was on the front page of the Herald yesterday morning. The whole crisis involving tent babies. What did you find when you were
know, it's interesting. I mean, we have been in Haiti since day one, with this earthquake and the recovery. And as you travel to these camps, you just start to see this explosion of babies. And, as I'm going from camp to camp, I see these babies and I start to realize that, oh my God, there's something happening here. So as I started to talk to the health professionals and the human rights activists, what we have found is that naturally after disaster, Haiti has had a population boom. But what is happening is the conditions under which these newborn babies are coming into existence. We have what you're calling survival sex or transactional sex. A lot of it is happening with very young girls, as young as 13 years old or even younger, where basically they're trading sex for food, and in the process they're becoming pregnant. Yes, there are contraceptives, condoms are available, in the tent cities. They did this after the quake, but we're finding, though, that is not the first priority. At the same time, you find that women and girls remain vulnerable. They're vulnerable to rape, and they're vulnerable to other things that are happening in this camp.
Jackie, about how big is this problem? Any way to quantify how many tent babies that there are out there?
Not really, but after the quake last year, UNFPA, the United Nations Population Fund, did do a survey where they found that the pregnancy rates inside the camps were 3 times higher than they were outside. This is in a country where more women die before, during, and after childbirth, and where most children don't make it to their 5th birthday. They also found that there was an exorbitant amount of teenagers who were also pregnant in this group. And what they're saying is Haiti was the first case where they actually studied this. And here we are, a year and a half after this earthquake, and we are continuing to see these tent babies that are being born. The ultimate solution is you have to get rid of the tents. And how you get rid of the tents is that you have to rebuild neighborhoods so that people have a way to leave the tents and to get back to the neighborhoods. But really what's heartbreaking today is when you talk to these mothers, no matter what age, and they talk about the fact that the children are sick, they have diarrhea, they have no access to potable water. After this year, what happened was the government started asking for the services, the medical services, the potable water, all of these things to come out of the tents and to go back into the communities. And so you don't see the mobile clinics. And when you see these children, you see that they are sick, you see that they need doctors, they need assistance, and they are not getting it. Because at the same time, all of the avalanche of medical support that Haiti received after the quake, it is now disappearing.
Is there a role for the international community in all of this?
I think it's about how do you fix a collapsed health system. I mean, before the 12th of January, you already had a failing health system in Haiti, and basically the quake basically collapsed what little there was. And so now we're trying to build that, but you're building that with not just a population boom, but also in a time of cholera and a time of what some could say is Haiti fatigue. $300 million that the UN is asking for, only 52% of that has been donated, and that is just for humanitarian.
Well, let's talk about someone who's, to some extent, responsible for helping get some of that money to Haiti, President Martelly. He's just celebrated 100 days in office. What has he done?
Well, President Martelly, when you talk to people in the international community and also Haiti observers and also his own supporters, they tell you that he is still a man on the campaign trail. He is still campaigning. Yes, he has been very vocal and he has been very much about promoting Haiti. But the reality is more than 100 days since its inauguration, the country still has no government. There is still more than $140 million that is being held back by the international community. We have a global crisis that's happening. Countries that promised to give Haiti about $5 billion after the quake are now in financial trouble themselves. And what Haiti and President Martelly will see in the coming weeks, if they do not put a government in office, is that a lot of this funding is going to go away. Because here in our own country, in the United States, you have a Congress that's ready to cut. And where do you start to cut? You start to cut abroad before you cut at home. And so this is where we are right now in the country.
Well, one of the people that he desperately needs to put in place is a prime minister. What are you hearing about what's happening on the ground?
Well, right now on the ground, President President Martelly recently met with the presidents of both chambers. He's also met with the head of the group, the GPR group. These are lawmakers who are sympathetic to former President Rene Preval. And he's been talking to them about a candidate, Gary Coney, Dr. Gary Coney. He is best known as the guy who stands here at all of the IHRC meeting press conferences, and he's translating for, former President Bill Clinton. But he does come into this, having worked in the UN system for a number of years. He faces a number of challenges, but right now his is the name that we expect for President Martelly to provide to the presidents of both chambers, and to basically let the politicking begin and to see whether or not he will be confirmed. Or, it's Haiti, you never know. At the last minute, maybe they can throw another candidate out. But right now, this is the guy that everybody's watching.
Is there any sense when this crisis, if you want to call it that, is going to end?
No, there is no sense. I mean, recently the government reported that school is going to be delayed until October. We still have about 600,000 people in the tents. They're waiting for education, promises to come to fruition. They are waiting for relief economically. But I think the first step in addressing and managing this crisis is putting a government in place in Haiti so that we can start to get the country moving.
Well, Jackie, as always, thank you for joining us on World Desk, and hopefully we'll get you back on before too long.
Well, thank you. I'm on my way back to Haiti, so.